All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where US President Joe Biden has signed orders aimed at expanding the healthcare access, including reopening the enrollment in the Affordable Care Act. Now, Biden's executive order is a step to help the uninsured Americans that President Trump had rejected for healthcare coverage. Now, this is one of the first moves by Joe Biden towards delivering his campaign promise to bolster the health reform law.
I know you've been briefed by the healthcare team about what this is. There's nothing new that we're doing here other than restoring the Affordable Care Act and restoring the Medicaid to the way it was before Trump became president, which by fiat he changed, made more inaccessible, more expensive, and more difficult for people to qualify for either of those two items, the Affordable Care Act or Medicaid.
Now, Biden's order calls to reopen enrollment on the healthcare website, directing federal agencies to re-examine a multitude of actions taken by Donald Trump. Joe Biden has also signed executive orders to reverse restrictions on the abortion access domestically and abroad, which were imposed and expanded by his predecessor. Now, Joe Biden has also turned to executive actions in his first days in office to swiftly start putting in place his agenda and to also wipe out the policies of his predecessor that had been controversial. Biden has also said that his administration's top priority is to get a COVID-19 relief package passed. Now, to give us more insights in terms of what all of this, of course, means, we're joined in by Kate Fisher. Kate, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this broadcast on WION. And let me begin by asking you this. This is yet another step by the Biden administration to overturn some of the key aspects of the Trump era's administration's policies, where he said that he would like to expand the healthcare coverage for more Americans as it was under Obamacare.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Biden has spent the first days of his presidency signing multiple executive orders, essentially overturning many of the things that Donald Trump did during his time in office. And in fact, today, when he was signing those executive orders, he was much more straightforward with his feelings about the Trump administration, saying that he was here to undo the damage that had been done under Donald Trump. And of course, Obamacare is very important to Joe Biden. He was vice president when President Obama first got that legislation through Congress. So he is clearly a big supporter of it and believes in the legislation and wants it to return to the way it was when he was vice president and Obama was president. Essentially, he's saying it is particularly vital at the moment that the whole of America can access healthcare, given we are living through a global pandemic, especially people of low income. He's making it easier for those people to get access to help and healthcare during this time, instead of having what they call the marketplace, which is when people can apply for this health insurance. It was only open for 6 weeks of the year during Donald Trump's time in office. It will now be open for 3 months. He's also getting rid of some of the obstacles for those low-income people to get access to it. And this is particularly crucial because so many people have lost their jobs during this pandemic. And of course, in America, most people get their health insurance through their employers. But if you've been laid off, made redundant, you therefore no longer have any health insurance. So these other ways of accessing healthcare are vital. That's what Joe Biden says. And that's why he says he's overturning what Donald Trump did.
Absolutely indeed. Kate, do continue to stay on with this because I want you to weigh in on the other big story that we are tracking on WION, where the White House has now expressed outrage over the Pakistani Supreme Court upholding the acquittal of Ahmed Omar Sheikh. The Pakistan's top court ordered for the immediate release of Omar Sheikh, who was convicted of murdering the US journalist Daniel Pearl. The White House has said that it was outraged at this decision. The White House's spokeswoman, Jen Psaki, called the decision an affront to terror victims everywhere and that Washington is committed to securing justice for Daniel Pearl's family. Psaki has also called on the Pakistani government to quickly review the legal options, including letting the United States take custody of those who've been acquitted and to prosecute them as per the American law.
The United States is outraged by the Pakistani Supreme Court's decision to affirm the acquittals of those responsible for Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl's kidnapping and brutal murder, which shocked the world's conscience in 2002. This decision to exonerate and release Sheikh and the other suspects is an affront to terrorism victims everywhere, including in Pakistan. We recognize past Pakistani actions to try to hold Mr. Pearl's murderers accountable, and we do note that as of right now, Omar Sheikh remains in detention in Pakistan under national security authorities. But we call on the Pakistani government to expeditiously review its legal options, including allowing the United States to prosecute Sheikh for the brutal murder of an American citizen and journalist. And we're committed to securing justice for Daniel Pearl's family and holding terrorists anywhere accountable for their heinous crimes. And the State Department, I know, also just put out a statement.
All right, so that, of course, was the statement by the White House, and Kate Fisher is, of course, live with us from Washington, D.C. Now, Kate, the question that a lot of people are, of course, asking is, the White House has expressed outrage. It has described the order by the Pakistani Supreme Court upholding the acquittal and release of Omar Sheikh as an affront to terror victims everywhere around the world. But the question, of course, is, will the U.S. push to extradite the killers of Daniel Pearl?
Yeah, that's right. That's what Jen Psaki there, the press secretary for Joe Biden, saying that they don't accept this, calling on the Pakistani government to review its legal options and asking them to extradite him here to the United States so that he can be prosecuted here. Daniel Pearl's family describing this as a complete travesty of justice and saying that they call on the US government to take all necessary actions under law to correct this injustice. Well, the White House making that very strong statement that you just heard, but also the State Department and the Attorney General all joining in to say that they would like to see this man extradited here to the US so that they can prosecute on American soil, and saying that they find the actions of the Pakistani government to be outrageous, talking about how the world was shocked by what happened to Daniel Pearl in 2002, and that simply this man should not be free.
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Kate Fisher, for joining us and getting us all those updates there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.